welcome to our newest segment, which is Q&A with the pros. This is Nina and I'm Summer, and yeah, we're here to answer your questions today. So pretty much what we're doing is we're asking people out there just to ask us any questions that they have to do with our day-to-day life, just anything that you want answered by us. We're here to do it. Okay, so...
Except just keep it G-rated.
Yeah, stupid questions clearly we're not going to answer, but we'll endeavour to get to you all. So we've got a few this week. We'll answer a couple, maybe 3. We'll see how we go. And this first one's from Dana Louise Thompson. She says, do you believe in having cheat meals? If so, what do you eat? Do you keep it relatively healthy, or do you go all out? Well...
Who wants to start on this one?
I will start.
You start. Okay. You're the food guru.
Because I'll start. I've been competing for a long time, and when I first started, it was very, very strict. I was eating so clean, and I'm anal. Like if someone tells me this is your diet, I literally stick to everything. Yet I'm anal free because that's if you want to be good at something, you've got to give it 100%, 110%, 200, whatever. I would do everything that they said. So when it comes to having cheat meal, I would go all out, and I mean all out. And it used to be.
I used to watch her do this in disbelief.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it would be like a day, and I would just go. On the way, I'd wake up, my housemate used to hate me, and I'd eat all his food in the fridge. I'd go to the shops, I would go get a big thing of like the best tasting chocolate chip cookies ever, that's what they said on the pack, and I would literally eat that on the way home. I lived like 5 minutes from the shop, and I'd just keep on eating the whole day until like explosion. And you know, over time, like I would change, and then sometimes I'd go, okay, just having a cheat meal, and I'd be able to have a cheat meal. I'm sure if most of you are aware, but I recently just like been suffering from adrenal fatigue, probably a lot longer than I knew, and it started getting really, really bad. Like towards the end there, it was out of control, and I would be full, but I would just eat and eat and eat. It wouldn't matter. Like I'd be so full and like in pain, but I would just friggin' eat, and it was the worst thing. And that's
what he is craving sugar at that time.
So bad, but so in saying that now, my principles completely, totally changed. Same with Nina. I do flexible dieting, so if I want something, I freaking have it whenever I want to, as long as it fits my macros. But in saying that, I eat clean like 95% of the time, all the time, and I don't crave stuff anymore. So if you're having problems with cravings, sorry, I'm turning this question into something else. I would be looking at like serious things. If you've got massive cravings, I'd be looking at why you are, and this is the best way that I found around it so far. I don't crave at all anymore.
No.
I don't know about you, but I just don't. Well, but that's my answer.
I don't think I've ever been as extreme as Summer, because I saw this girl keep eating, and I just didn't know where buffet. She was out of control. So, I used to have just a cheat meal, and when I first started competing, I used to try to keep up with her with the cheat side. I nearly could pass
I was
out.
such a good coach.
She was great. Anyway, we don't recommend that. I always recommend, depending on your plan and what your goals are, or how the process works for you, I still only recommend a cheat meal if you are the type of person that needs to follow a very strict plan. And then depending on also how your results are going, some people may have 2 cheat meals a week because their body can handle it. I used to have 1 cheat meal a week, and I would also maybe have like a few little bits and pieces throughout the day, but I'd still eat my main meal just to get my proper nutrients.
Stevia queen.
Yeah, but I overdid the stevia. That's not good either. Too much artificial sweetener. So I think 1 to 2 cheat meals a week is fine if you are following a very, very strict plan all the time. And my rule used to be I would keep it relatively healthy sometimes, but I mean, I still eat pizza and burgers and that kind of thing, like from grilled, no fast food.
Yeah, macros at all.
But my rule was I never had sugar through my prep, so I wouldn't have any sugar, which is where the stevia came in, or, sweeteners and that kind of thing. But now, exactly the same as Summer, I have adopted the whole macro approach. And again, I still eat, whole foods 95% of the time, just because my body agrees with that better. But again, if I want to have some dark chocolate, I have it if it fits in my day. If I want to go out and eat at a restaurant a few times a week, it's fine as long as I can fit it into my macro intake for the day. So I'll plan my meals more, if I want to go out and eat, I'll make sure I train first. So obviously I can eat more post-workout and that kind of thing. So, and I don't crave anything anymore. I don't even call it cheats. I just work things into my day now. But in saying that, yeah, you need to... I've lost my tangent. But yeah. It depends on you. So for a while there, doing the strict diet, following 110%, having my cheat meal, it did work for me for a while, but now I'm pretty strict. We're both pretty strict within ourselves and disciplined to choose the right foods all the time and add in the little bits where we can. Our bodies can handle that. So
yeah, and don't get me wrong, when I was doing my way and I was still having cheat meals, I was still getting results. Like I still got my pro card from it and still got down to, like the first time I ever competed, I got down to 4% body fat doing that. So there's ways that it works, but you've just got to look. I think it's all about finding the approach that is something that you can keep for life. And now that we're on this, like I think it's definitely something that we can adopt, and we don't feel like, oh, they're going out for dinner, or we have to take friggin' chicken in a bag. Like I would never ever do that again.
Yeah, we've done that a lot. We used to do that a lot. But I think what's important what I would never recommend personally is, okay, the cheat meals are fine. You're having cheats if that your body's absorbing that, but it's when you binge. When you binge on food, and even if it's a good food, I don't think it's good for your body because it's just too much for your body and your hormones to handle. So I think that's what's important.
Hormonal shutdown.
You're having meals, have a meal. Don't binge and eat the entire buffet like this one used to do.
Hey, okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Question?
Yes.
Okay, next one.
We've got a few.
What about, do you like the one from the Nathan? That one?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so
let's have a guy. Yes, Nathan.
Okay, so Nathan Banks asks if you guys are were not doing bodybuilding or muscle works, what would you be doing today in this age of the world? You can go first because I know what maybe you would say, but I've got to think about that question. What would you be doing?
I'd probably still be doing what I was doing before. So I was actually a professional dancer before I started this, and in terms of like hip hop, jazz, all that kind of stuff, you know. And I always wanted to move to America and pursue my dream and career over there. So I think I would be doing that if I didn't switch.
I think you'd be on So You Think Can Dance right now because that just came out again.
Yeah.
I think she'd be on that.
Maybe I'd be doing things
She'd
like
still
that.
be famous. She would still be famous.
We're not
100%.
famous. We're not famous now. We just lift
100%.
heavy things.
Do you know what? Like, I'm thinking, and I cannot answer that question. Like, I don't know what I'd be doing because I found fitness when I was 18 years old and it just pulled my head into serious gear. Like, I was a party animal, that's what I was, and I couldn't answer that question. Like, when I found fitness, I found everything, and I've always had this massive addictive personality, and now that I found this, it's just given me so much direction, and I feel like I found my way. So Nathan, I don't know.
I think it'd still be like a model or something.
Well, yeah, I started doing like all your comps with Crazy Sexy Cool back in the day and everything. So possibly I'd still be doing that, and hopefully I always wanted to do magazine work and stuff. So maybe I'd be a glamour model or something.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd be doing that because I have just recently, well, a while last year, I got published in a glamour model magazine.
She was hot.
So maybe that's what I'd be doing then.
Cool question.
Okay.
Next one.
Should we go with Audra's question?
Yeah, let's go with something more serious.
Okay. I would love to know how you deal with...
Wait. It's from Audra Homer.
Audra Homer, sorry. I would love to know how you deal with not being as lean in between comp seasons. Well, we can answer that right now. Also, hormonal balancing issues post-comp, and people's perceptions of how you should look when you have been that lean and how you deal with that. Or how did you learn to not care about others' thoughts?
Huge question.
Huge question, and really relative to
where we're at right now.
Yeah, we're through. You can go first, Nina.
Oh man, I've had a whirlwind of it last 6 months or year nearly. Basically, okay. So in the first part of the question, how do you deal with not being lean in between comp seasons? Well, I guess it was when I was doing comps back to back in between the seasons. I would actually stay within a few kilos of my comp weight. So I wasn't actually putting on that much weight in between shows, maybe like up to 5 kilos. So I still felt pretty good. But in saying that, when you go from being super lean, like comp day lean, to just a few kilos more, you feel huge. Like mentally, you actually feel like you're massive, even though you're not. To the real world, you are still tiny. It's tough. Like even that is tough, and I think it's just a day-by-day thing, and I think competing in general is just a mental challenge more than anything.
More than physical, definitely, yeah.
So it's tough to deal with that, and I think when I started taking photos of myself, I think that helps put things into perspective. You know, you start realizing, wow, I actually look pretty good. Like, you know, compared to normal people, you look at like the everyday person. If you're a athlete, you look incredible, even when you're holding extra body fat. So it's just a day-by-day thing, I think. Hormone balancing issues post-comp though.
We're both trying to figure this out right now.
This is huge, you know. If you have a hormone issue post-comp, that's something you need to focus on fixing. And this is where we are at right now. We are pretty open about speaking about our hormone issues at the moment. And it's something we didn't realize we even had a hormone imbalance before when we were competing. So you definitely need to see the right people. Like we are seeing a really good endocrinologist at the moment. We see the same person. You need to find the people to help you get back on track. You need to find the right foods and the right nutrition that works for you to help heal your hormones. And you need to not be overtraining. So until your hormones are back in a reasonable balance, you shouldn't even think about competing again. At the end of the day, it's just a show. So you can always compete. There will always be another show. So you really have to balance that. And so many girls, or females especially, we're sensitive. So you need to really reassess your body. And it's really, I think, important to stay on top of that. Maybe you get blood tests after every show you do.
Absolutely. I would. And even before, after, I would definitely be looking at that.
Exactly. So that's something to definitely monitor. Make sure you're ready to go and you're fine before every show, after every show. Okay, people's perceptions of how you should look when you have been that lean. How do you deal with not caring about what other people think? Okay, so this is tough, and especially tough because we share our lives pretty openly on social media. And there are people out there that will always have something negative to say. I've personally copped a lot, but then at the same time, I have all these amazing people I'm surrounded with, and people that will support me as well. So I think that's what you have to focus on. It's still hard, and I still battle this now. People expect you put this kind of pressure on yourself where you think people expect you to look a certain way because of what you do and who you are. And if you're an athlete, market yourself as an athlete and you compete all the time, especially as pros, there's a huge expectation on looking a certain way all year round, but I don't think that's realistic. So if you and yourself learn to accept that, a healthy weight is fine, and we still train hard, don't get me wrong, and we have different goals at the moment. We're trying to build muscle and heal our hormones, so we're going to be a little bit heavier than what we usually would be, and that's been really tough for both of us to deal with. I think you learn to really not care what other people think. I mean, every now and then it gets to you, I'm not going to lie, it still gets to me, but you need to surround yourself with the people that understand what you're going through, and I think being open about it is actually has helped me.
I think that's what we both had to do. I had to come out and just say, look, this is what I'm going through, and then so did Nina. And the pressure that you the whole thing with the pressure is you actually put more pressure on yourself. Like, people don't put that much pressure on you, it's just you mentally, because you expect that of yourself, and especially being such driven people that we expect so much more from ourselves. Exactly. So when you go down that path, it's hard to see that. And I mean, when I first started competing, I would always fluctuate at least 5 kilos until just probably the last 2 years, and that's where I stayed very lean for a long period of time. And for me, that's when that experience just didn't, I thought it was good and I loved it because I was like, I'm lean all the time, but it just turns out it wasn't worth it in the end, so you've got to really listen to your body, and at the end of the day, you're doing it for your health and images and everything. It's so hard. And one thing that I really struggled with when I first got diagnosed with adrenal fatigue and having all these hormonal issues, I would sit there and I would look through my Facebook and my social media, and I would see all these lean ripped girls, and I'm going, I couldn't deal with it. I'm going, you can't, this is not realistic all the time. And it was hard for me to overcome, and but I did, and I do now, and like of course I appreciate that, but yeah, sometimes it's really hard to deal with. I mean, looking over the question is such a big question.
I know, that's one video in itself.
Okay, how do I deal with it? Well, I mean, at the moment now I'm just dealing with it, like I just had to, and like Nina, it took me ages to get over it, and
we have each other, which helps.
Yeah, I think, and it's funny, you know, because whenever something happens, it tends to happen to both of us. I don't know how it happens. It tends to happen to both of us. So I started, Nina picked me up, and then it changed. I was like, it's okay, you'll be fine. So that's what you do. It's about support. It's about having support from the right people, loving yourself for who you are. That's all you can do. And
I have a big butt, and I love it.
I wish I had a big butt like this. Not yet, anyway.
It's so big it doesn't fit into anything.
But you know what we do? This is what we do. We just look forward to what is coming next for us. We think, okay, we're doing this for a reason, and it's just about those goals. Like we're both like, yeah, competitions, end of the year, this is what we're doing. We want to make sure that we're healthy, ready to go, and we just won't, you know, we're going to stay on top of it. So that's our main
look
focus.
at the bigger picture.
Exactly. Well, I think that this is long enough for a Q&A video, and we could talk about that subject for so much longer. But Audra, if you do have any more questions specifically, just send us an email, summer@muscleworks.com.au, nina@muscleworks.com.au. We're happy to help you in any way whatsoever. But for now, that's it. And if you guys do have any more questions, please leave them below, comment, Facebook, send us private messages, whatever you need to do, because we're here to help.
Cool. So the Facebook is Facebook.com/muscleworks for her, or you can leave a message on our Facebook page, individual Facebook pages.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.